Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching FOODCASTER, everything about having a relationship with food. I'm Michael Seven Michael, and today we have Sam Eats Plants.
Hey.
How you doing, Sam?
I'm really good, thank you.
You're really good? Are you still eating plants?
Yes. What else is there to eat?
What else is there to eat? So, we've both been doing a little traveling.
Yes.
Yeah. So, tell us about...
My travels?
Yeah, your travels,
My
and
food
how did
travels.
food play a role in that?
So, I'm really spoiled because the city in which I live has super easy health plant-based options everywhere. Like, I don't have to try hard. No one has an excuse here. It's easy. So I was like,
This is true.
what am I going to do when I head over there? Because I don't know the situation. And I was in London and I was in Paris. Paris was difficult. You know, Parisians with their prosciutto and their brie and you can find vegetarian things, but things without dairy is near impossible.
Okay.
Near impossible. But London was amazing. They had lots of stuff. It was just like being here in New York. They had lots and lots of stuff. And a variety, like Moroccan and South Asian and East Asian and African and everything in between. Wow. It was really easy and it was really nice. I will say that some of the food products that exist here in the United States and also have a market in London, there is definitely an ingredients list difference.
Okay.
So you are way less apt to see things like dextrose and maltodextrin and citric acid on the same product in England.
Oh, wow.
So they're trying to kill us here, I think. Like, it's the same company. Like, this company could do the same thing here.
Wow.
But doesn't.
But doesn't do it.
Like,
Actually, can you put your mic on the outside a little bit? Hold on, folks. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little better. I'll speak louder. That works.
Okay.
There is a difference.
Yeah.
There's totally a difference. If you go to the real FOODCASTER and you check out some of the photos that we have up, you could definitely see. Well, I guess you could see the product difference. I guess you could see like the fresh vegetables. Look at this. Just from overseas, you're just getting stuff straight from a farm. Look at these raisins.
They're big.
I was like, wow, and they taste so good.
Yeah.
I refuse to have raisins here.
Well, I don't.
Like I won't eat raisins from here. Whoops, there you go.
I don't eat like the commercial raisins here. I do. So bougie. I do buy like that Hunza Valley organic sun-dried raisin. That is really hard to find, and I can only get it for like $20 a bag. I'll eat those, but I won't eat that other stuff in the red canister. No,
Right.
I don't touch them.
You don't touch it at
No,
all?
because I also cook them with like oil and stuff, and the oil's probably GMO, and so no.
So how does one eat when they go on vacation? I mean, how do you make a game plan to stay on the path? Because we did a bunch of shows about being aware, but when you go away, you could be limited.
It depends on
depending
what
where
your
you
path is. Like, staying on the plant-based path for me is not a question.
Okay.
Because to me, animal flesh isn't food,
Okay.
and dairy is just something that will create disease.
Okay.
So I wasn't on my path fully, though. I ate a lot of things with sugar. My face broke out. I had pimples all up and down the side of my face. So I wasn't on my path. But in my lane of plant-based eating, which is just a given, like I'll go hungry in a day because I couldn't find anything that was completely plant-based. But not everyone will do that. So what do? You just research.
Okay.
We live in 2019, so most of us have access. Most of us who are able to travel also have access to the internet. So you just whoop, 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 whoop. You But stuff in,
I'm just saying.
they find stuff out.
There's a quality difference. Look at that.
You don't have to tell me.
You know. Okay.
I know. I mean, maybe they don't know, but I know. It's important to share it. Try to tell people.
Yeah, it was amazing. So,
I even found a whole vegan small grocery store in Paris, which was crazy because it's Paris. And me and my friend went crazy in there. We were like, wow. Yeah.
Wow. The, let's see. It's interesting watching the news also. There are a lot of reports talking about the fact that worldwide people are eating less animal meat, eating less animals, and moving towards a plant-based diet worldwide.
That's interesting.
Which is interesting. And how come you didn't hear that report in America?
Well,
you know,
Americans do eat less meat than they did 12 years ago.
Okay.
Not a whole lot less, though.
Okay.
Because we still eat more meat than any place else on the planet. But it's less than what we have been eating. And we can all speculate the different reasons why. I have my thoughts, but I haven't delved into it personally to really feel concrete, this is the reason, this is the reason. Mm-hmm. But I think one is health, and because we have a healthcare issue, and some people like to take their health in their hands, and they start figuring out what they can do in their life. I think that's part of it.
Okay.
And then another part is because there's this idea that red meat's not good. Like, and let me tell you, like, red meat, white meat, it's all kind of the same. There's little differences. But, so all animal consumption is down except for chicken. Chicken is up. But the overall meat consumption in total is still down, but chicken is up. So I think that is part and parcel of this idea that beef and pork is bad and chicken's better. And it's just an idea. It's not factual, but it's an idea that a lot of people hold. I think that's part of the reason, but it's our levels are so high in meat consumption that we would have to do something drastic as a country to even meet, let's say, even where like France is. And France, they eat a lot of meat too, but they just don't eat a lot in each serving. We eat a lot in each serving. Like they'll have like a reasonable portion of meat. They'll eat meat all day, but it's like small. And then we eat big. And then on top of that, our animals are sick. So we're eating like sick animals where they're not allowed to have sick animals in their farms over there. Yeah, there's a whole like what the FDA allows versus what the European, like their association allows is different. And some of our meat is shipped overseas, but when that happens, they have to like come in, clean it all out, change the speed of the conveyor belts and everything. Like we have to do everything different to create the meat products that actually get exported over to Europe because our standards are not high enough for them. Like this actually happens.
Wow. Well, one thing also I noticed when it comes to like fruits in Ukraine, you'll see bruised oranges and apples, and it'll be in there in the supermarket. They're not obsessed with this beautiful work of art that you have to bring home.
Yes.
They're like, no, this is food, and you do not waste food.
40% of all food produce items are wasted before it hits the supermarket.
Wow.
It's disgusting. It's terrible. And luckily, there are people who are beginning, in the sustainable movement, they're beginning to see that as a way to more consciously and compassionately practice capitalism. So there is a company that I won't mention, but they have a produce delivery service of food that doesn't look great. But they're perfectly fine. It's just that potatoes that have like two heads, or carrots that are like that have like 3 prongs. Things that are fine, but we have so sanitized and homogenized what we think food is supposed to look like that as Americans we get grossed out seeing things like that, where that same narrative is not played in other cultures the same way, where they're like, so what if it looks this way? But for people who are looking to save money on food, to save money on produce, it's a great way to tap into these companies that now exist that take perfectly great produce that just looks weird or looks funny and now sell them and deliver them to your house. So that's that.
That's that.
They already were doing it in France. There was a whole thing called ugly, in English it's ugly fruit. And so there's a supermarket that has a whole section of fruit that doesn't look pretty, and it's 30% less money.
Wow.
I mean, tell me nothing, I'm going to go straight there. Because I know there's something wrong with them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just not as pretty.
It's not aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
And we've just had the training to look for things like that. Like, because both you and I have ancestry in the islands, and if you go to those markets, wilted lettuce, you know what I'm saying? Like, and people buy them anyway because it just isn't a thing. Here it's like we get upset and we're talking to the grocery manager like, how come all the collard greens look like this? Like, we have a whole nother training of seeing food.
Right. But that also has to do with television.
It's everything.
We grew up with, I mean, if you go back and you look at black and white TV, you would have that banter of this doesn't look perfect, or this and this, you know, this is a little strange, or where's all the good stuff? That these little things that they throw in that after a generation, because I know even looking at the food, I was looking for that perfect apple. I was looking for, well, I don't know if this, and I said, oh wow, I'm caught up in it.
You're like, oh wow, I'm American.
I'm American.
I'm not used to this.
There's no way around it. Yeah.
It's in our children's books. It's in the pictures that are put up in classrooms. And it's in our general conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Ew. I mean, the fact that we have so many people who are picky about like textures. It's a little annoyance for me, especially as a nutrition counselor. Like, the texture of kiwi. Like, you're dying though. Like, eat this kiwi. I don't get over it. You know what happened when I first decided to stop eating meat? There are things I didn't like. Like, I didn't and don't like mushrooms. Didn't and don't like eggplant, celery, peanut butter. Like, I actually don't like those things. And when I decided I wasn't going to eat meat anymore, I was like, I should eat other things, and I just started eating them. I still don't like them. It's not a big deal. Like, just eat them. I don't have much empathy for, like, pickiness, because I don't get it. I don't grasp it. And, like, I eat things I don't like all the time. I grew up eating things I didn't like liver. Like, ew, who wants liver? And so I think also we breed pickiness. If we're obsessed with pretty looking produce, if we're obsessed with things that look a certain way, and then we turn our nose when we try to tell someone it's the same exact thing, it just looks different. I mean, think about it this way. There are people who will walk, and friends of mine who walk into a vegan restaurant and turn up their nose at the idea of a black bean quinoa burger, but yet eat a hot dog that has pig eyes, pig cartilage, pig bone, all ground into it. But the black bean burger is gross.
Wow.
But the black bean burger is what you turn your nose up like, ugh. I'm like, ew, you eat like parts of intestines within. I mean, you're eating also pieces of feces in your meat. I mean, were the black bean burgers ew?
Well, one thing that you said before, and I totally agree with you on this, as long as you know and you're cool with it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people aren't aware. We mustn't assume that people know what's in the hamburgers, what's in the hot dogs. But it is scary, those that do know, they're like, okay, I'm still cool with that.
Well,
you know, but at least they know.
Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. There's this movie called Riding in Cars with Boys. It's really old. It's from like the late 90s.
Okay.
Drew Barrymore's in it. And
shout out to Drew.
Her husband, she's a young wife and mother, and the husband is addicted to heroin, right? Amiable guy who means really well, but he's addicted to heroin. And at one point, you see him trying to rationalize with her.
The star of the show.
At one point, you see him trying to rationalize with her getting off of heroin. And because he tried to get off cold turkey as, you know, the only way you can really get off. And it was hard for him. It's hard for him. And then he has this plan. He was like, I know what I can do. I just need a little bit to get by. So that's what I'll do. I'm just going to take a little bit each day. And she's looking at him like, okay, so now with food, you're just talking about people who know who still do it. Sometimes it's that addict in us that allows us to do it.
Right.
You know? Addicts will drink alcohol over eating food. Many times they'll choose that over food. And, you know, there was a lab mouse experiment where they introduced the mouse autonomy over choosing what to eat or food, like feeding themselves. You hit this button and food comes down. Okay. But they introduced cocaine to the mouse too. And they gave the mouse autonomy over choosing cocaine. So now this mouse has the ability to choose food or choose cocaine. Once the mouse was introduced to cocaine, the mice never chose food again. They did it to the death of themselves. Wow. They never chose food again. So understand, we're operating on something similar. The only real difference between mice and us is we've passed down information enough to know we shouldn't do this, to know it is going to kill us. We have this cognitive understanding, but the behavior is the same.
The behavior is the same.
The behavior is the same. So I can sit here and be like, there's feces in your meat. And people will be disgusted hearing me say it, and then sit to a steak anyway.
Wow.
Because it's the addiction.
Okay.
It's the addiction.
Yeah, I've heard so many. I need to have my meat. And I don't like titles.
I know.
Well, I don't mind them, but I don't like them, especially when it comes to the food thing.
Yeah.
So I just say plant-based diet.
Yeah.
And having a relationship with food.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to cheat sometimes.
Don't call it cheating.
Don't call it cheating?
Because then you're messing up this relationship with food. No matter what you eat, you need to have some type of love and acceptance in it. And if you think something is cheating, then you're already putting that energy within you. So it's either you do it and you enjoy it while you have it, and you can understand it while you're doing it. Like, I know what this is. I really want this right now. I'm kind of sad. Or, oh, my mom made this. It's so nice. You know, you can have that. But I'm
gonna tell on myself. Can I do that?
Do it.
I want to tell on myself because this is real.
Uh-huh.
So, in Italy, you know, there's a black pizza.
Okay, what's on it?
Regular pizza stuff, but the actual. I'm gonna show a picture of this. Hold on, real quick. Just the dough is made differently. Okay. And it was delicious. I had to try it. I just had to do it. Now I don't eat dairy.
Oh yeah.
You know, I don't any kind of milk products, but I had to try that.
Understood.
And it was amazing.
That's good.
And I had to. But I do know that any kind of dairy, you are going to create mucus in your body. So I went in knowing better.
Yeah.
And I want people to also be able to know, okay, if you're doing A, this is going to happen. If you're doing B, this is what it's doing. As long as they know.
Let me tell you.
I feel good as long as people know.
In London, I told you I ate all this sugar. I also ate all this wheat. I typically don't eat wheat in the U.S.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah,
because
you don't do wheat.
It gives me arthritis. And a lot of other little things. It makes me lethargic. I need to sleep more. Okay. If I eat a whole lot of it, it actually gives me a little bit of depression. It's crazy. But I was like, I don't have time for this. I don't have my own kitchen. And we're going all these places with awesome vegan food. Right. So I'm like, give it to me. So I'm eating, every day I had dessert. Probably every day I had gluten too. And I was feeling it there, and I kept telling my friend, I'm going to have to cleanse when I come back. Because I felt it all in my body, but I know what it was. But as I ate it, I wasn't dissing my food in front of me.
Right. Oh, no, definitely, yeah.
You know? I'm like, this is so good. I mean, I'm in France, and we go to a place which is like a vegan patisserie. So it's like croissants and things like that. And it's like, yeah, I'm in France. Hell yeah, I'm going to have vegan croissants. And I'm going to have 3 of them. I did that in one sitting. I did that. And then felt like I had someone blowing up a balloon in my belly. But I knew the whole time I'm going to come back to New York and I'm going to get on my regular, which I did.
Right.
Which is, so now my pimples are gone,
Mm-hmm.
and now I feel like better.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's interesting. It's important to be real about it.
Yeah.
Your own journey. Don't fake a journey. There are a lot of people online are doing podcasts or doing shows, and they become hardcore, whatever thing they want to attach to it. And that's not, or may not be real life. I mean,
it really may not be.
Yeah. Now, if it is, awesome for you. But don't sell people a dream.
Yeah.
Because then it becomes this thing where I'd like to be where you're at, but it's unrealistic, so I'm just going to run the other way. And we don't want that to happen.
That's true.
You don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
A couple people close to me said, oh, well, you're Mr. I'm going to eat this and that. And your skin's looking amazing. And how do you go on vacation and look thinner and younger when you get back? And I was like, but choices, that's all.
It's all choices.
Yeah.
It's all choices. Like, even beyond food.
Beyond food.
Beyond food.
Yeah.
55, you look back at your life and you're like, how did I get here? Choices.
Yeah.
All your choices.
Oh, man. I'm seeing people, always during that holiday season, you catch I wasn't here for most of it, but you catch people that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's a little scary sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're like, wow, wait a minute. We went to school together.
Or this has happened, being told by people not that much older than you, like, oh man, yeah, when you get this age, like, things just start breaking down. And I was like, I reject that.
Yeah.
My stuff is not going to be breaking down.
Right.
You're also not looking at your lifestyle that led you to this body that's breaking down right now.
Right.
And you're putting that on me, and that ain't me.
Right.
At all.
Mileage.
Yeah.
And abuse.
And lots of things.
This is your vehicle. I mean, if you put terrible gas in your car,
it's gonna...
or keep changing the gas. Like one day you use really good gas, next day you use another brand, next day you need, and that's how I mentally equate all this. So,
that is really true. It's really true.
So it's, I want the best for everyone. That's why I do this show.
Yeah, I want it too. That's why I speak as many places as I can.
Yeah. And you got an opportunity to speak in London, correct?
I didn't speak.
Okay.
A friend and business partner.
Okay.
She is the one who had the event, but I was there in case it was needed.
Gotcha.
So I didn't do the speaking. But she brought me, she's like...
You're the backup. You're the muscle.
I was the backup.
You're the muscle. Say it right. You're the muscle, Sam.
She did an awesome job.
That's great.
No, but I love to speak. I speak to little children in New York pretty regularly at the restaurant where I manage. And about 2 or 3 times a month.
Okay.
And I'm talking about kids who, one of the schools that came, 40% of those children are living in homeless shelters. Like those are the kids I'm speaking to.
Wow.
And so I talk to them about revolutionary eating and decolonizing diet habits. And, I already know.
Yes, I caught that. If anyone, did you catch what you just said? If not, it's okay. You need to just watch this again. Oh, no, those were shots fired. Those were shots fired if you didn't pick that up. I picked up what you were throwing down. Oh, yeah.
But a lot of them, in this city, there's a lot of people with Caribbean, South American backgrounds, right? And because I have that too, it's a way that we can connect. So when I talk with them, a lot of them are like middle school age. Some have been like 9th graders. Recently, we had 2 sets of like 3rd graders, which I think are a little too, or maybe I just don't know how to address them. But with the middle schoolers, it was great because I'm like, who likes curry goat, right? I can only do this here. Right. I know who the audience is. Like, who likes oxtail? And like almost all the kids know oxtail. Like whether they're Puerto Rican, Filipino, Jamaican, like they all know oxtail. So I can reach them there, and I can say, I love that stuff too, but I don't eat that stuff anymore. Y'all know why? Some of your guesses. But it's awesome because the middle schoolers and up, they get it. Like, I mean, they get it. You see in their eyes, and they get so engaged, and they want more questions. They're asking me more questions, and they're like, how do I do? How do I do? And I understand their resources are much more limited than some other people in New York, because those are the children that are coming to our restaurant and having their first vegan meal. And their discussion with me and also the other facilitator that runs it. But I do that because I care.
That's beautiful.
I love doing that.
That's definitely beautiful.
I would love to just go into schools and do it, but we'll see. I need to slow down a second.
Or you need to speed up.
Or,
you know what I'm saying?
But I also want to make sure that I take care of my body, but you know what? Sometimes happy work is almost like not having work in your body. It's not as stressful. And sometimes people say, oh, you do so much. You have to be careful. You don't want to stress yourself out. I'm like, but I love everything I do. So I wonder if I probably don't have as much like adrenaline and cortisol coursing through my body because like I love doing this. And if I run around to talk about food or run around to like manage this wonderful restaurant, it's all but joy.
Now, it's interesting. So wheat, because you did mention this really, really quick, wheat also creates arthritis.
No, it depends on the person.
Depends on the person.
It depends on the person. It's not everybody. It happened to do it to me. I'm not the only one.
Okay.
But it happened to do it to me, and I figured it out by trial and error because I don't take pharmaceuticals. Like I don't take medication.
Okay.
So my only way, if I'm having pain, I assess myself. Am I getting sleep? Yes. Am I drinking enough water? Yes, maybe, but I don't think that's it.
Well, this is interesting because these are things you need to figure out before you go on vacation. No, for real. I mean, because the thing, you will try dishes that you might not have tried before.
That's true.
But the basic ingredients for the most part, unless it's some rare bird or rare fish or rare whatever, you know that apples do this to you, so do not eat the cake with the apples if you don't want XY reaction.
Overall, yeah. And I think it's the same if you're still staying home. I think it's the same if you're staying home. But I thought because the food quality is higher over there, and I've heard stories of people who have wheat issues that don't have wheat issues in Eastern Europe or in Australia or in Southeast Asia. So I was like, okay, let me see if I don't have these wheat issues over in London. No, I still did.
You still did?
I still did.
Okay.
I still had the bloating. I still had the lethargy.
I did not have the same reaction with cheese in Italy as I had here.
Okay. I'm not surprised.
You know.
I'm not surprised.
I was like, wait a minute, aren't I supposed to feel all? No, I was good. After a while, it did.
I was gonna say it will
creep up, but it's not hitting you on the head. Better animals, quality.
Yeah, their animals aren't as sick, and they're not as injected. There's a lot of little things. People have to remember. Yeah.
So before we go, what is your advice? People traveling. Yeah.
Go on the internet.
Okay.
And if your dietary issues aren't that serious, then have fun and know what you're doing, and know when you come home to be on the straight and narrow.
Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Give everyone your social media.
You can find me on Instagram at Sammy's Plants. You can also find me on Facebook, and the website is almost up.
And we will definitely promote and talk about that. And I'm Michael7Michael on Instagram, and our Instagram is The Real Foodcaster. And you're watching Foodcaster. Hopefully you're watching this on cable or you're watching it as a live stream. You know, you'll find us in a whole bunch of different places. Either way, enjoy, and we wish you to have a healthy relationship with food. Thank you.